versus the world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the One Piece podcast. My name's Reese.
My name is Wesley.
And we're here to review the Alabasta Saga in general. It's very fortuitous, Wesley, that we ended up getting through all of East Blue in 5, and now we're getting through all of Alabasta in 5.
True. This feels like a great way to cap out our double digits episode.
Right? I mean, I think it's very poetic because I feel like with this saga coming to an end, One Piece is really like gone from a boy to a man. Or at least a teenager.
True. To put it in Pinocchio terms, this is like going from a wooden boy to a real boy.
You know what? That's an even better way to put it, because I feel like One Piece is not like a man yet. One Piece is not like hit its full potential or anything.
That's fair.
But its true form has become like decipherable for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think as much fun as I have with East Blue, and I guess not that much fun because I think with my report card for it, I gave it like a B. But this is like, I was reading like Alabasta proper, and I was like, and I said this about Arlong, but like this time I really mean it.
Yeah.
This is like One Piece as it will be going forward a lot more than like any time before this.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. It's yeah, I think another thing is that this saga was a lot more consistent than East Blue. Like East Blue, it had some high highs, don't get me wrong, but it was a lot more inconsistent. This one was just pretty consistently good from start to finish, I think.
I agree. I think the only time I could even like remotely pinpoint some lags in the pace were like, obviously Reverse Mountain wasn't the most fun arc in the world. But then
Fair
it goes
enough,
into Whiskey Peak, and that kind of like, makes up for it because they're both pretty short.
Yeah.
I think in the grand scheme of things, Drum Island and Little Garden are a little forgettable, maybe.
I think that's fair, yeah.
I think Drum Island has good heart, though, and we get a whole new crew member, so like obviously it's not that forgettable.
Yeah. I know what you mean, though. It's, they definitely don't have as much sauce as like Alabasta arc.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny because I guess for those of you who are confused why we're not talking about just Alabasta proper, we're talking about the entire saga from Whiskey Peak to Alabasta proper. Yes. The whole sort of, and it's interesting how Oda gets to balance like those being little arcs, which all come together into one giant arc, both like thematically and narratively. Like a lot of stuff kind of is set up and paid off here. Yeah.
I mean, sorry, this is jumping ahead a little bit to the end of my report card. But in my complaints, I note that something that just feels a little bit off about this, kind of building off what you're saying, is that it almost feels like this is two separate sagas where the first like bunch of mini arcs are all kind of one entity, and then Alabasta arc is kind of its own thing. But now that we talk about it a little bit more, I almost think that might be a strength, maybe, because we get to see plenty of time, especially for Vivi, who I think is very important, and we should probably talk about a little bit more. But I think the time, especially spent with her throughout those mini arcs, definitely pay off well at the end in Alabasta arc, which really comes full circle for this full saga.
It's unreal to me that this saga was originally envisioned without Vivi at all, because
that is crazy.
She is the thing that starts and ends this entire like storyline. She is the
True.
Like literally like the final moment of all of Alabasta proper is saying goodbye to Vivi in this wonderful, beautiful moment.
Right.
Like imagine this arc, but they just don't give a fuck about her at all.
That'd be not nearly as pleasant to read, and it's insane because it feels like those moments at the end where they're saying goodbye to her, like that feels part of One Piece's soul. It's so weird that was not in the cards originally.
If I can also skip to the end of my report card, I said one of my complaints was that across this entire saga, there were very few like tent pole moments. And now for what it's worth, I think that final goodbye with the X's on the arms is a tent pole moment. Truly, genuinely.
Absolutely.
Is. But aside from that, I don't know how many like if I were to like give like top 10 best moments, favorite moments in One Piece, or top 50, because like obviously 10 would be stringent. Yep. I don't know how many from Alabasta would be in there, like just in the saga.
Yeah.
I could see maybe like Chopper's backstory. That's about it.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, I think the thing is that and I think you as well, definitely have a lot of moments that we both really like in this arc. But I think even just looking at like the broader cultural scene right now, I don't know. East Blue has a lot of staying power, which I think I would definitely dive into like the reasons why. Like I feel like that's very intentional by Shonen Jump and the other like stakeholders, that it is so like that it permeates culture so much. But like I don't know. I feel like even just reading the text as is, I feel like some of the moments don't necessarily stand out as much as East Blue's like highest highs.
Yeah, I think part of that is like East Blue. We were constantly being introduced to like new crew members and developing them and their relationships. And
yeah,
although this saga kind of has that with Vivi in a way of like seeing everyone bounce off of her.
mm-hmm.
I just think the only new crew member we get is Chopper, who is great by the way and slots in pretty damn well.
Yeah,
I think especially his relationship to Usopp and Zoro in this arc and Luffy is really adorable.
Agreed.
Like, I think the way that... I mean, your arc MVP, looking at your report card, not to speak for you, is Usopp. And I think as great... That fight is, like, genuinely pretty peak. Like, that's like a solid A-tier fight, in my opinion.
Very fair, yeah.
But I think a lot of that fight is... That fight is, like, made even better because Chopper is constantly like, wow, Usopp, you're so cool.
Agreed. I think a lot of the things that I love about that fight... in fact, are because Mr. Chopper's there. So I definitely agree.
What do you think of that? Do you think that's a fair criticism?
I mean, just that. I think another note on that topic that is maybe a slightly different points, but I think I do agree. I think something that's nice about East Blue is that everything is paced throughout. This one definitely feels very backloaded with the like really important plot stuff, and I think that's partially why it suffers too, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think like you said, Chopper and his backstory is definitely like could be considered a tentpole moments, but the problem is that's like basically in the second half, and then Chopper and Nico Robin are the two new crewmates we get, and they're both in the second half. And Vivi is throughout this entire one, but I feel like her best moments are also in Alabasta arc, which is in the second half. So I don't know. I think that's part of the issue is like I don't know if you felt this way, but I feel like if I was rereading this, I'd be kind of like I don't know, speed reading the first few arcs just to get to like Drum Island and Alabasta arc, because I feel like I care a lot more about those two than I do the first few.
I sort of I mean, you're cooking with that opinion, but I think the thing that really sort of jumping off that, yeah. I remember I was watching, this was years ago, like maybe like 5 years ago, I was watching a big, great, humongous One Piece YouTuber named Roger's Base. Okay. And he was doing a tier list of all the One Piece arcs, and he put like, I want to say he put Alabasta, like Alabasta proper as low as like low B or something. And I was like, wow. I was blinded with rage because I was like, dude, Alabasta, it's so good. You've got like, you know, Zoro versus Mr. One, the Usopp fight, like Bon Clay, Sanji and Mr. Prince, the goodbye to Vivi. It's a fantastic, and that's just me talking about the hype moments in Aura Man. Like I think the themes of leadership throughout, and like the way, I mean, this is more of a Saga thing. Like Drum Island really goes into this, but like, I was ready to glaze Alabasta to the high heavens, and he actually like 2 or 3 months ago redid that tier list as like a 2025 retrospective, and he put Alabasta like low A, and I was like, that's a lot better.
Yes,
but now that I'm going through like this whole thing again, I kind of am a lot more empathetic to his like point of view of like Alabasta proper is not, it's not One Piece's best, man, and I think that should be very exciting for you, not disappointing. Like that should be like, you're like, wow, this is not even like, we're not even in like the like Oda kicking into high gear yet.
True. I mean, but, yeah.
I think, sorry, looping back around to your original point.
No, you're good.
Despite me saying that, I think Alabasta just totally overshadows Drum Island and Whiskey Peak, and all, like every other one of those arcs is like, if I were doing like a reread of just the best moments, I would not reread like any part of this saga except for Whiskey Peak, which I love. Whiskey Peak I would reread, and then just go straight into fucking Alabasta proper.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also interesting that Whiskey Peak is not only like I okay, sorry, I might have to derail this slightly to give an insane hot take. I think Whiskey Peak as an arc had better action than Alabasta arc. Is that crazy to say? Is that a hot take?
I think that's the least crazy thing you've ever said. Some people will fry you for that, but I won't.
I mean, Alabasta arc does have some good action, don't get me wrong, but I think that Zoro fight scene alone is like the best fight scene in One Piece so far. But I think, sorry, to go back to the point that I was going to make, I think it's crazy that not only does Whiskey Peak have that great action, but also it's when Vivi joins the team, like she gets on their boats, and we see they kind of set up Nico Robin more in that arc. So I feel like it's interesting that not only does it have the best action, but that's also the only like arc that necessarily has extreme plot relevance until Drum Island.
I was going to say, well, Drum Island technically does introduce a whole crew member, so it has some plot relevance.
Yeah, no, Drum Island does. And honestly, I just like the vibes of Drum Island too. But we have an entire episode on that so that you can go back and listen to.
Yeah. In fact, we were glazing Drum Island to high heavens. But I want to undo my glaze. I think in episode, I was like, I'm bumping this up from a B+ to an A-. It's back down to a B+. Get out of here, Drum Island. Get out of here.
I think... I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel guys, I think Drum Island was just like, it doesn't have too much actual content. It's fun, but it doesn't have a lot of actual like
fun.
It feels a lot more like you're eating some delicious Fruit Loops. Like they taste pretty good, but they're not like you're eating Chex cereal, which has a lot of nutritional value. You know
that almost feels first of all, it's a really funny comparison.
Thank you.
But I mean, first of all, I'm someone who can appreciate some Fruit Loops, literally and like metaphorically. But I think that's maybe a little too dismissive because like there is some really great heart with Dr. Kureha. I think she's really well written. I think Chopper's backstory is great. I like the leadership stuff they've got going on. The political commentary is good.
Yeah,
it's like Killer 7.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think...
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm a doctor.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'd still say that Drum Island was probably my second favorite arc of the saga, but yeah, it's...
It feels like it's missing something. Maybe it doesn't... Yeah, maybe you're right. It's lacking protein.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's fair.
Man. That silly Oda, man.
I mean, I think one thing that we can go ahead and glaze Oda for is that I think his like page to page and panel to panel character writing definitely evolved and grew up in this saga, and I think his art especially grew up in the saga, just universally. I think those are both just better.
I had to go back and look at some like East Blue art, and I was blown away, man. I couldn't believe how much this shit had changed from like Romance Dawn and like Orange Town, where I was just like, man, this is so... It's like cartoony, but it's like feels so rough around the edges compared to how just absolutely delightful like his art is here.
Yeah.
Like his art really has like kind of like solidified in, especially like Alabasta proper. Like it's just like I can find no fault possible, and he's like... Mm-hmm. He's really been experimenting with like lighting more. Like,
true.
I mean, we've commented. I remember specifically we talked about this a lot in both Whiskey Peak and because I'm looking at your art appreciation right now on my damn screen on Little Garden. It's like he does a lot more like cool stuff with shadows.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think his detail is always really good. But looking at your art appreciation, I mean, I think just. Both the detail has improved and the way that he draws his characters. Like, it just feels so... It feels like he finally picked, like, the perfect way to illustrate these characters.
I mean, I also just think he, like, started thinking about One Piece more. How smart How smart was it of him to get to Alabasta and go, by the way, everyone gets, like, a brand new outfit.
True.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. Like, that completely,
agree.
Like... You see a picture of, like, Luffy from this arc, and you're like, oh, I know where this is from. That's so good.
Yes. Exactly.
Like, I love Zoro in that weird zebra print outfit, dude. And Oda will continue to do this to your delight, but, like, I think he technically did it in Drum Island, but it felt a little more, like, function than form.
Yeah.
And, like, here, he's like, actually, I'm gonna, like, make this arc feel distinct by, like, getting immersed in their culture and their clothes and, like, the world building.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, and for the record, for all our audio listeners at home, my Oda art appreciation... I'm actually cheating. Instead of using like a manga panel, I'm choosing the 2 volume covers of One Piece that fuse together into like the Straw Hats and Baroque work staring each other down, because I think that is, it's just so iconic, man. I feel like it's like the one piece of art from this saga in general that like I've thought about the most and like been most impressed with.
I think that's very fair. It's sick.
It's just cool, man. God, it's, and like the background's fusing, like the background being like a swirl that comes together. Oh, it's so cool.
True. It's awesome. He cooked with these two.
That actually brings me to a good segue talking about world building. I think
yes, sir.
One of Oda's, if Oda was like a poker player, I think his winning hand, his truest strength would be his ability to make this world feel interconnected. And for like you, the reason I think we loved Logtown so much is that it really starts to play that up, because we like cut to Shanks and we cut to this and we cut to that.
Yep.
We get to see what everyone's up to. Buggy comes back and fucking Alvito.
True.
And this saga is like that, kind of just on crack, because not only does like we have the Django cover story going on in Drum Island.
Oh my god.
And then that comes back all the way in Alabasta.
Yes, which is perfect.
Which is pure peak, baby. And not only is he setting up cool stuff, like, by the way, there are giants in this world. By the way, like, there's this mysterious Whitebeard guy. What's his deal? Because, like, that gets mentioned for the first time when we meet Ace, fucking Luffy's brother. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, which is crazy that that's just dropped, and then, like, I'm still wanting more, man. I'm still wanting more.
Yeah, we just get so much stuff set up for, like, the bigger picture that'll come back later. But, like, there's also so much stuff that comes back.
True.
Like, I think the fact that, like, hey, Smoker and Tashigi are introduced in Logtown, and then they get to show up in Alabasta proper and play a role.
Yes.
It feels really cool and, like, makes the world just feel so much more interconnected. Fucking, once again, Django. My go.
True.
I am endlessly grateful for Oda's cover page stories. I think they're, like, the coolest thing about One Piece.
Yeah. They're awesome. It's so creative, man. It's awesome. I don't know, man. I think, I don't know. There's a lot of sauce for sure. I think taking such like a micro look at the saga, like I feel like I wrote so much of my complaints, but like in the grand scheme of things, like I don't know. This saga as a whole like still really resonated with me. I think just looking at it, I could see so much ambition.
Like I completely agree that like it's consistently good, but less consistently great. That's like the perfect like. That should be the damn thumbnail. Fucking like that'll be on the thumbnail. That'll be the title.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I think the greatest sign here is that like if he's getting to the point where he's like always consistently good, like we can only go up from here, and it will always be consistently great, which is what I'm hoping for.
I mean, I think it should excite you deeply that even still, I'm like, man, Oda's not even begun to get started.
That does excite me. That thrills me, in fact.
Like, the meme is to call him Goda. Put the G in front of the O, man. And I don't think there was a single soul who's calling him Goda after Alabasta, man. He's not earned that title, but he will!
I'm very excited to see it, man.
I think if One Piece had ended like after Alabasta, I would have been like, that was a solid 8 out of 10 series. I had some fun, and then it ended. Like, and then I never thought about it again. But like, we're getting into the special sauce now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to see where these winds blow on this beautiful ocean of One Piece.
Now, Wesley, I think the last sort of thing we should touch up on, because we're going to keep this episode a little tight, is I'd love for you to go through your favorite moment and your arc MVP and sort of go through why that is, and I'll do the same.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan, sir. My favorite moment, which I feel like we discussed pretty thoroughly already, was the Straw Hats saying goodbye to lovely Vivi. I like Vivi's character a lot, and I hope she returns. And yeah, this moment, it's I feel like this is really the emotional core of the entire saga. As much as Chopper's backstory was also kind of that, I feel like this is really where this is really the meat and potatoes of this saga, you could say. And then we also discussed this earlier, but Usopp was my MVP. I feel like this is really where I loved Usopp in East Blue, but really all the things that I truly love about Usopp were all from the saga. He's my favorite Straw Hat so far. I don't know if that'll change in the future, but I feel like I just really connect with his goofiness, and I think there's a lot of soul behind him, with like wanting to genuinely be seen as a hero. And I feel like the fights that I chose for the arc MVP picture that we talked about briefly and talked about more in detail in the Alabasta arc episode, really shows that in great detail.
I'm going to use my future sight here, man, and I'm going to say I think knowing you as well as I do, I think Usopp will be your favorite Straw Hat for a long time.
Honestly, I'm pleased. I'm pleased as punch to hear that. Thank you, sir.
I think he's just a very U-core character, man. I think you're going to be laughs and smiles with how he's handled going forward.
I'm excited to hear that, man. What about you? What was your favorite moment, and who was your arc MVP?
My favorite moment, somehow, unironically, was just Zoro dicking on the entirety of that one goddamn Whiskey Peak town.
Yes.
I think it's some
so
of the
peak.
best and most fluid action. Like, I realized how much I appreciate action that's not just, like, Goku versus Frieza, and I love Goku versus Frieza. That is not me putting it down. But, like, the Luffy versus Crocodiles, the big, like, main character versus main villain is great, but sometimes I really appreciate stuff with, like, a side cast. In fact, I very much appreciate stuff with a side cast.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing Zoro not just take down the biggest, strongest guy, the coolest guy in the whole guy, he's beating him down in the rain. It's like, no, he's just like, there's this cool creative action scene with, like, he's like diving around through the bar and kicking up a table to use it as a shield, and like the cool. Nun uses her gas cross gun. And he's kicking down ladders. Like, it's evolving and it's changing, and it's like he's being clever and quick and strong, and like sometimes he'll overpower like the strong lady, and sometimes he'll just like do a little gag. It's great.
True. It's awesome. This is like, would you rather have Oda's quick wit or good looks? But it's, would you rather have his character writing or just the sauce that he had while writing this fight? And honestly, I would choose just the sauce while writing this fight, man. It's so good.
Sauce, man. I think my hottest One Piece take is this is probably my favorite Zoro moment and maybe the whole damn manga.
Honestly, like, I don't even care that if it peaks here, man, because, like, I can't imagine doing it any better. It's just so good.
If it makes you feel better, Wesley, I would say I'm the only man on Earth who would say that this is their favorite Zoro moment. There are, like, a couple others that people are going to like more. Don't worry.
Fair enough.
We've not seen the peak. I just really like this moment for some reason.
It's awesome. I don't blame you one bit.
It's almost like nothing happened, man. Don't worry about it.
Fair enough.
Despite my favorite moment being that lovely Zoro moment, which I couldn't. It was really hard to find a panel to describe what that was. By the way, so I chose like him after getting up from being punched. Which
yes,
I'm gonna pause but before I go over my lovely arc MVP.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go over. I told you this before we recorded last time for Alabasta proper. I said, Wesley, I have a great bit I need to tell you about. Don't let me forget it. And you said, okay, and then we completely forgot about it.
I'm so sorry. I even, earlier today, I was like, oh, man, I got to remind him about that bit, and then I totally forgot again. I'm so sorry.
Well, I was about to forget, and then I mentioned, you could probably hear it in the damn recording, because I was like, oh, and then he fought that strong lady, and, like, my brain awakened. I need to introduce you to This is not me and my thoughts. This is just a community meme that I've been dying to tell you about.
That sounds good.
So this is a little thought experiment. This is not me being edgy or a fool. This is just a thought experiment.
Okay.
How many black characters have we met in One Piece as of right
now? I want to say it's been 5 or 6. Actually, let me rephrase that. It's been 6 or 7. 6 or 7.
Well, if I'm doing my math correctly, as of the Alabasta Saga, there is Usopp and Yasopp.
Yes.
There is the strong lady, the circus strongman lady, whose name I don't remember and doesn't really matter. Yeah. I think her name's like Mrs. I don't know. Mrs. like Tuesday or some shit. There is...
That's right.
Mr. Five, who's also in Whiskey Peak, by the way.
True. And he's very cool.
And he's very cool, by the way, like, actually kind of goated. And then Mr. One, Dad's Bones.
True. So I lost track while you're saying that, but I think that was 6, right?
That was 5.
5, okay. Mr. 5.
We'll obviously meet more in the future. But there's There's a large meme in the community that I've been dying to tell you about, which is that Zoro is secretly a conservative or something like that, because the only 3 black characters in all of One Piece is Zoro has like personally fought and damn near killed.
That's awesome. That's just like Gojo and Miguel and JJK.
Yeah. There's memes
wonderful.
where it's like he's like, make the Grand Line great again.
Wow. That's I never thought about it that way, but that is a very funny pattern, and it's very funny that it's almost exclusively in this saga.
I know. Once again, a full credit to like the One Piece fandom for pointing this out. I'm not trying to be performatively edgy. I just think it's a very funny pattern.
True. Well, needless to say, now I'm going to be paying more attention to how Zoro treats Usopp, because I don't want him to be treating him poorly for any reason.
Wow, we'll have to see about that, buddy.
We opened up the next arc, and it's like just 5 chapters of Zoro like abusing Usopp. He's like, I have no reason to be doing this. Like he just annoys me. Like it has nothing to do with any external factors.
He puts on a red bandana from this point on. Zoro's like, I'm very proud of my samurai heritage. I'm not afraid. I don't know how much of this is going to make it into the final episode.
Just the way that you said, I'm not afraid, reminds me of that thing where that guy, when it's like had a outburst at the airports, and he's like singing that song from 8 Mile, I think, or Green Mile or something. He's like, I'm not afraid. I forget how the rest of the song goes, but he like smashes his glasses on the ground.
Yeah, that was... Yes.
Zoro does that. Yes. It's like trying to get onto the Going Merry. He smashes one of his swords. He's not afraid.
He's not afraid.
That's what... Yes. Oh my god.
My arc MVP is lovely Usopp. I'm just kidding. It's Sanji. It's lovely Sanji.
You had me going for a second. I was going through my records, and I was like, oh my god, did I see something?
No, you stupid idiot. My arc MVP, aka Saga MVP, is Sanji. Now,
yes,
I am obviously and not an unbiased observer, because like I love Sanji in general. So Sanji getting to shine, I was like, man, I appreciate Sanji so much.
Yeah,
but I mean, my complaint section is even complaining that I feel like Oda sometimes struggles to juggle all of the Straw Hats. I mean, he does
absolutely
not a lot during some of these arcs, but what he does, I very much appreciate.
I think that's very fair. Sanji definitely has some high highs in this saga, and he's also a very U-core character, so I think that's all very fair.
I think obviously his best moment is the Mr. Prince saving the day stuff. I think that's
absolutely peak. That is absolutely peak.
I think he's got some great gags. I think True. I love that moment of him like sacrificing himself on Drum Island to like throws himself in the damn snow.
True. That is also great.
I really do appreciate his moment of like going into the wax house on Little Garden and like calling Mr. Zero. I think that is like a peak moment.
True. It's very fun.
It's a very fun use of the character, which I appreciate. I think it's so like weird how he's basically like a weird secret agent this damn arc.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know, man. I just appreciate Sanji. I'm not even going to say that like this is like anywhere near Sanji's peak as like a character, but like I think the way he's handled is strange.
Yeah.
But I like it, and I don't know, man. Him and Alabasta was moving differently. He was just so cool.
He was very fun. Yeah.
Well, Wesley, this is a delightfully short 30-minute episode that I think people are going to love to listen to. Do you have any other closing thoughts?
I don't think so. Shall we give our lovely arc ratings? Or saga ratings, I should say.
I think we should give our saga ratings.
I gave the Alabasta saga an A rating.
I give it an A- because I do think it's fantastic, but I just know Oda can go so much farther from here, man.
I think that's absolutely very fair.
I think my one closing thought is that I really appreciated Crocodile. I thought he was really cool.
He was. He really is the best villain that we had so far.
Pretty like easily. Like I don't think anyone even comes close. Like even Arlong. Like
I don't really care about that Arlong guy. Maybe Wapple actually. I like Wapple.
You don't care about goddamn Karobi dude from Arlong Park? Karobi.
You know what, now that you bring that guy up again, I like him quite a bit.
Karobi,
he's
Don
strong.
Krieg, man.
If we're making a tier list of great villains in all of fiction, it's like those things where it's like those like wince-worthy thumbnails that are like, who are the most vile villains in fiction? And it's like Don Krieg, worst feats, gassing people. Karubi, worst feats, kicking Sanji while he's down underwater.
You know those like analyzing evil slop videos?
Yes.
Analyzing
always,
evil Don Krieg.
Yes. It's always the judge from Blood Meridian. But I actually think that Wapple is worse than the judge.
What if Blood Meridian was the exact same, but Don Krieg was the antagonist? And they were like...
Yes, instead of... sorry, do you mind a light spoiler for Blood Meridian?
I do not at all.
Instead of the judge dancing naked, it's like Don Krieg is like dancing naked. And he's like they say that he'll never stop gassing people. He's just gonna keep gassing people forever.
Instead of the judge dancing naked, it's Don Krieg firing his gas gun.
Well, it's Don Krieg saying he's going to fire his shuriken bombs, and instead he fires his gas pellets, and everybody like wipes their nose, like pinches their nose, and they're like, "Ooh, stinky." Luffy's like, "I can't breathe this in," and then they're like, "Take this gas mask," which is a thing that actually happened in Baratie.
How differently would Blood Meridian be if it was still the same? Everything was the exact same, but Pearl was also there, and he was like the little sidekick to the judge. And he was like, "Yeah, woo."
I'm actually gonna like throw up for laughing. Can we be the thumbnail for this episode?
Yes.
I'm not afraid. It's Pearl throwing glasses on the ground, and the judge is like stomping on it. Analyzing evil, the guy from the airport, and his two cronies, the judge and Pearl.
He's not afraid to dance naked. How many? I can't say the bit I want to say. I'm laughing too hard.
Oh my God.
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not afraid.
Oh man.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap on the episode. Check out episode 11, Jaya, starting now. Just kidding. Starting whenever you click on the next episode, because time doesn't exist.
If you listen to the podcast, the podcast feature on YouTube, it'll go right into it. It'll be like we just kept talking. We never stop. They say he'll never stop talking, and that's how they feel about us. We'll never stop. We're not afraid.
For all our future fans, let's start a conversation. Like, we'll start a sentence at the end of this episode, and then pick up episode 11 with the end of that conversation, so it'll just flow seamlessly.
Do you have a good conversation topic?
Of course I do, and that's our episode 11 on Jaya!